It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine, largely because I don't believe it. All the theories circulating online that the poles are going to shift, there's going to be a great earthquake, the Adam and Eve conspiracy theory. Not that I disregard any of it. Actually, I'm looking into it quite a bit. It is fascinating, and I do have concerns. But the opening bit was just a joke. I largely am not super worried about an apocalyptic event happening. Perhaps it's normalcy bias or optimism bias, whichever one you want to believe. But there is mounting evidence, though still limited, that we may be facing some kind of cataclysm. That's the extreme end. You've got a lot of people that are arguing that the magnetosphere is weakening. There are a lot of people that believe it's become quite popular online. In fact, for the past several years, people have circulated what's called the Adam and Eve conspiracy theory, that every 6,500 years there's a cataclysmic event, the poles shift, the floods, the water sweeps around the earth, wiping everybody out. And all that's left is a small handful of people scattered across the globe. It's really interesting if you think about it. We have this story here from the Daily Mail. Massive solar storm causes worldwide blackouts as experts warn the worst is yet to come. They say just after 11:30 a.m. Eastern, a massive X 2.7 class solar flare erupted from a newly emerging cold, dark region known as AR 4087. X-class flares are the most intense in the solar storm scale, capable of disrupting communications, damaging satellites, and even threatening power grids on Earth. These flares are born from sunspots, dark, cooler areas on the sun's surface where intense magnetic activity builds up. Okay, maybe. I mean, this is science. This actually happens. Solar flares happen all the time. The question is, are we facing cataclysmic potentialities? Here's a story from January from Lad Bible. Book classified by CIA for more than 50 years explained how the world was going to end. They say a book which was kept a U.S. state secret for more than 5 decades has now been declassified. The works of Chan Thomas, which describes a shocking conspiracy theory about the planet's supposedly impending demise, has now gone public nearly 60 years after he first penned it. The late engineer, UFO researcher, and self-proclaimed polymath is the author behind the infamous book, The Adam and Eve Story. The CIA put a stop to the book's publication in 1966 for reasons that remained unknown to this day. It is thought that the intelligence service might have been concerned that Thomas's theories might have sparked mass panic, or that he may have spilled the details of a secret government research. The CIA declassified parts of the book back in 2013, but kept the rest of the literature under wraps until now. According to Thomas, cataclysmic events are brought on by the Earth's poles, the 2 points where the planet's axis of rotation meets the surface, switching places, which is known as a geomagnetic reversal. Scientists say this swap, which the author believed was responsible for earthquakes, tsunamis, and severe weather, which could wipe out the world, last occurred about 780,000 years ago. Quote, during a pole reversal, the magnetic field weakens, but it doesn't completely disappear. The magnetosphere, together with Earth's atmosphere, continue protecting Earth from cosmic rays and charged solar particles, though there may be a small amount of particulate radiation that makes it down to Earth's surface. The magnetic field becomes jumbled, and multiple magnetic poles can emerge in unexpected places. In the Adam and Eve story, Thomas claims the pole switch will ultimately be the downfall of human civilization. Thomas alleged that Earth's magnetic field, which is constantly shifting and occasionally reverses polarity, will be shunted, causing chaos for the Earth as we know it. Excuse me. Fighting a sneeze. In one chilling passage he wrote, in California, the mountains will shake like ferns in a breeze. The mighty Pacific rears back and piles up into the mountain into a mountain of water more than 2 miles high. Then starts its race eastward. In a fraction of a day, all vestiges of civilization are gone, and the great cities LA, SF, Chicago, Dallas, New York are nothing but legends. Barely a stone is left where millions walked just a few hours before. He goes on to describe apocalyptic scenes taking hold of America's tourist hotspots, with winds the force of 1,000 armies wreaking havoc on with supersonic bombardment. Maybe. They say Thomas believes the planet would be a lot different on the other side of things. He wrote the Bay of Bengal Basin, east of India, is now at the North Pole. The Pacific Ocean, just west of Peru, is the South Pole. Thomas said that Greenland and Antarctica were hurled toward the equators only to find their ice caps dissolving madly in the tropical heat. Let's hope that he wasn't as nifty with numbers as he thought then. Here's what I was thinking. They talk about this out of Africa theory. Humans started in Africa, migrated north, branched out into Asia and Europe, crossed the Bering Strait into North America. Perhaps. I have no reason to doubt any of those stories. Who am I? But let's have fun. Let's say humanity was global. They expanded, they built civilizations, and then there was a great flood, and it destroyed everything. What you would then see is it seems people would just start popping up in certain areas. Why? If a great flood did happen, the people who survived would be in caves or high altitude, and there would be limited population. Most civilization is wiped out, and humans wouldn't recover for thousands of years. With lost knowledge, there'd be nothing but legend. Maybe we'd write a book to try and share information on how this happened and what to do and how to live. Maybe. Maybe the Adam and Eve story is correct, but it wasn't just Adam and Eve. After the Great Flood, there were survivors in different pockets of the planet that then began to emerge and build civilizations. Or not. Or it's just a silly idea and people want to believe these things because, I don't know, people want grand stories. They don't want to believe that life is just mundane and we are here but fleeting moments and it'll be what we make of it. I certainly think there is always great potential for catastrophe. And I think humans are stupid to believe that there won't be, I don't know, major earthquakes. Here's FEMA fact sheet on the new Madrid seismic zone. Okay. Here's the CUSEC, New Madrid Seismic Zone Catastrophic Planning Project. Maybe it's not going to be a pole shift. Who knows? Maybe it's New Madrid, which I believe this is what, in the middle of the United States? They say it's Alabama, Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Mississippi, Missouri, and Tennessee, most affected by the earthquake. According to the current scientific understanding, the New Madrid zone is capable of producing damaging earthquakes at any time, range between 7 and 8.0. I believe that's what, Richter scale? Were these earthquakes to occur today, the effects would be considered catastrophic, directly affecting several million people across 8 states, indirectly affecting millions of others. In an effort to prepare for this, the FEMA provided funding to CUSEC to lead an effort to develop, improve, and integrate the earthquake response plan. Going way back. Earthquake can happen, tornadoes can happen, but is it possible for a global seismic, and I don't mean literal seismic, but like a major catastrophe? You know, honestly, a lot of people wish it was, but we got no idea. They say Thomas believed the planet would be a lot different on the other side of things, which we did read. According to Martin Malinchak, a senior researcher at NASA, we haven't got anything to worry about. It's just unfortunate these things are being put out there. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof, and there's no proof and no science and no physics behind any of the claims about magnetic fields change being associated with climate change. He dubbed Thomas's theory that the Earth's magnetic field will make a 90-degree switch as totally bogus. If that's what happened every 6,500 years, we would certainly see it. It would be in all the records. I think he's right. We can take a look. You can do this. People can do this. You can go to the Grand Canyon and see the sedimentary layers. When you're just driving through the Mojave, you can see all the sedimentary layers. Maybe it explains a lot of the weird rock formations. Maybe the issue is this. He says, we certainly see it unless you've explained it away for other reasons. When you hear a hoof, you don't think zebras. You think horses. But mainstream science says these rock formations occurred over millions of years, and there used to be great running water through these areas. The water levels were higher. Maybe you've chosen to explain these things in that direction, but maybe you were wrong. Or maybe these people are wrong. Look, man, you want to talk to me about politics? I will tell you about politics all day and night. You want to talk to me about rock formations? I'm going to say, I don't know, I looked at rocks sometime. You know, I was out in the Mojave and I saw a bunch of rocks. Not much more I can say about that. What I can say is sometimes people think their observation is proof. You know, you had that, what's his face? I can't remember who said this, but they were like, Earth is not round. I drive. I never go up and down. It's like, bro, you go up and down all the time. The Earth is still round. But there are people who think because they can't see it with their own eyes, it must not be. But there are greater scales of things. Can't see radio waves either. When I go to the Mojave, when I go to the Grand Canyon, or whatever these places, you can see all the sedimentary layer. You're thinking like, how was water that high? I mean, we're talking about a water level that's 1,000 feet higher than where it is today. How? Unless something was different. Earth shifted, or it could be tectonic plates. The plates move, they overlap on other ones, they emerge higher points, and then places that were once underwater are now above water to a great degree. You can explain it away any way you want. In the meantime, we know the solar storms are real, and there are concerns about these power outages we've been seeing. It's fun to think about. Not much more to be said. So I'll wrap it up there. Smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know. Stay tuned. We got more bits coming up for you throughout the day, and we'll see you all next time.